I listened to this dude's story, and while it's not the same illness, I went through something very similar, and it should be a wake up call for everybody. If you ever dealt with an autoimmune disease, make sure you tune in here. If you think you got time to waste, if you're in your 20s and 30s and you think you're going to figure it out later, make sure you listen to this episode. I actually wrote about all this in a book I have coming out called Headwind. It's about navigating life in your 20s and 30s and just, what I learned kind of from crawling out of the gutter to having to build a career in companies and some kind of wealth. But I got a wake up call when I was about 38, which was, only a couple years ago. And it really changes your mind, especially if you read all this stuff on social media. It's like, you don't have to have it all figured out. You can build a career at 35 or 40. Yeah, let me get to that in a minute. I'm going to tell you something. And I hope some people wake up. If you think that you're just going to go through life forever and you're never going to get sick, you're crazy. And the thing is, you will get, on a long enough timeline, you will get sick. It's just a matter of when and how bad will it be. So this guy he talks about options if you're into trading on the stock market. And I've been trading options for 20 years. I just like listening to the stock market talk, and I leave it on as background noise. Dude just disappears one day. I've not seen his videos in 8 or 9 months. They used to pop up in my feed. They don't pop up no more. Haven't seen him in a minute. Yesterday, this video pops up. It says my brain melted. And I was wondering where this dude went. And I start listening to his story and how he got encephalitis, which is, it sounds like it's autoimmune. And his brain was like inflamed or swelling, and it led to bouts of like psychosis and just took him out of the game for 8 or 9 months. I mean, this is a guy with almost 500,000 subs. It sounds like he was an active options trader. Had to be making money on the channel. To just disappear for 9 months, things must have been bad. I listened to his story, and I'm like, dude, this story is pretty similar to what I went through. So this is what happened to me. You wake up one morning. You don't even wake up one morning. I gotta take a sip here. World's worst allergies in the spring, and I can't dodge this cough. So I gotta keep drinking stuff and like chew on Ricola. Anyways, a couple years ago, I got like the flu, and then it was a bad flu, really kicked my butt. And just as I'm getting over it, I wake up one morning, and I thought I was feeling okay. I grab my MacBook, and they're a little bit heavier, right? You pinch it between your fingers, and I'm getting ready to go downstairs. I grab it, and it slides right out of my hands, and I'm like, well, what's up with that? I thought maybe I was like not awake yet, or maybe I slept too hard. Couldn't really grip it, and I'm like, oh, so I cupped it in my hand, between my bicep and my hand, and I went downstairs. Kind of shrugged it off, and then I go to tie my shoes, and I can't pinch the laces. So I couldn't tie my shoes. And then it's like, okay, oh crap, what's going on? And that led to stuff such as I couldn't even like use my thumb and like my index finger to get the paper off a straw. That's how weak my grip became. Oh no. I run to the doctor. They don't know. And after a couple more doctor visits, they throw out the word ALS. And then like I think my life's over. Like I'm about to go into a deep depression. I'm going to be dead in 2 years. They want to get some tests done because now they're really worried. I've had this doctor since I was like 10. Going through all this like crazy thoughts in your head that your life's over and you got this, and they do a bunch more tests. I go see a neurologist, and they like stick excuse me again, sorry, damn allergies. They're sticking like needles in my muscles and my neck to see how the muscles are working. And you try to tell people that you gotta like advocate for yourself. I gotta do this for my father. He's 80 and he's had some like health ups and downs. Man, if you're not advocating for yourself, people will blow you off. They'll think you're crazy. That test, I was like, finally, like, someone was listening to me because they saw the reaction time and my muscles were way down. So, anyways, after this goes on for, I'm guessing, I think 2 months, I'm going back and forth with the doctors and they can't figure it out. They said I had GBS or a mild form of GBS, and it's autoimmune thing that usually happens after you have another cold, like the stomach flu, for example. And then it triggers this autoimmune response. Well, that took me out. Like, even till today, I still have trouble pinching a straw or something to get the paper off of it. Like, it's not completely gone away. At times, I can have tremendous, like, I was incline bench pressing 315, but I can't feel the bar in my hands. It's very strange and has not gone away. Fatigue was terrible. I do a lot of typing. I write books. I write content. I do so much work, and I own multiple companies. Typing for like more than a couple minutes, my wrists and my hands would get exhausted. It took me out of the game for like a year, maybe up to 2 years, where I could do stuff, but I just wasn't even half as productive as I was. And this is where I got to start saying, like, what if I had ALS? There's so many people in this world that depend on me. Thank God I was like financially set up that if something did happen that was bad, that, everyone would be taken care of. What if I wasn't ALS, but it was going to I wouldn't be able to work anymore? Could I retire at 38 years old? And all this stuff starts going through your mind of, you think you're not going to get sick until you're like 70 or 80, until you start seeing people that have health issues in their 30s and their 40s. Hell, see them even in their 20s. So now when I hear these people talk about, you don't have to have it all figured out. You can launch your career late. Don't go work a job you don't love. And it's like, are those people going to pay your bills when you're sick and you have no money in the bank and you can't take care of yourself? It's like, stop listening to the people on TikTok and social media. Like that, it's that saying that if you wouldn't want to trade places with them, don't listen to them. And that's why I wrote that book, because it's like, man, there's so much bad advice. And if you haven't noticed, if you look around, it seems like people are doing worse. Like there's the upper middle class is getting a little bit bigger, the wealthier is getting bigger, but like a lot of people just aren't doing as well because we're stuck in this mentality of hating work and not wanting to do anything. What happens when you're 32 and you find out you got cancer? What happens if you can never work again? Like, have some money in the bank, have something, right? And it's this guy's story. It's like, man, you wake up one day and it could just all fall apart. And for him it did, and now he's coming back. But I went through the same thing. It's like, if I can't type, I'm screwed. Like, I do so much work with typing. It's what, at 38, that's it. I'm not going to be able to make it till 65 working. This is it. Do you want to just get by for the next like 40, 50 years of your life just being broke? Whatever the government gives you on disability. I had a family member on disability. You don't get crap. Just enough to get by with the very minimum. And you see these people on social media and LinkedIn and everywhere. It's like, hell, don't worry if you don't figure it out in your 20s. What are you going to do? It's hard getting a good job after 50 unless you're great at something. So what are you going to do? You're going to make all the money you need between 35 and 45? I'm going to tell you what, you're not. It ain't going to be enough money. It ain't going to be enough money to like get the house you want and have kids and buy the furniture and send the kids to college. Oh, wait a minute, you need retirement too. Man, as soon as you are like 21, 22, you get out of college, go. If you're in college and you're listening to this, get internships, build your resume, and go. Don't waste time. Yeah, you might not love what you're doing, figure it out later. Get work experience, save some money, start investing, pay off your school loans, get set up, start building a craft, start building a name for yourself. You don't want to be 30 years old competing with people who are 22 years old. At 30, you should be getting paid, low six figures because you're good at something. Plain and simple. You look at this guy's story and my story, it's like, man, you could wake up at 35 and everything could just be yanked away from you. What if you had a family? What if you had kids? What if you had all this stuff? And then you're just done. You can't earn money again. People don't think about this stuff. And right here it is. The story's in front of you from me, from this guy. You see it every day. But because we see it on TikTok or LinkedIn and it says, don't worry about it, you can figure it out later. Colonel Sanders didn't start KFC until he was 52 or whatever that meme is, right? And it's like, oh my God. Waiting around to 52 right now is probably one of the dumbest things you can do. Sorry, I had to grab another drink. Oh man, I need some of those Halls that have the you ever get those Halls cough drops? They got the liquid in the center, and you bite into it. I know you're not supposed to, but you bite into it, and then it burns your throat for a minute. That is what I need. But anyways, don't waste time. You don't really see many people winning right now that didn't come out the gates just swinging. Go build a career. You don't have time to waste. You don't ever get the time back. I don't care what anyone tells you. You don't wake up at 33 and say, I'm going to make up for lost time. Lost time is lost. So don't do it. It's one of those things that you don't know what's going to happen. You see it every day. You see people die young. You see people get ill. They get cancer. They get autoimmune. You get COVID now. You get long COVID. You could be screwed up for 2 years of brain fog and just fatigue. If that's going to happen, I want some money in the bank. I want some security. I want to have a home somewhere. I don't want to have to. I grew up broke. I've seen what happens when you're 62 years old and you got zero money and all you got is that $1,300 a month coming from the government. It ain't pretty, man. I don't want to live like that. Too many people count on me to live like that. I got to take care of people. So I don't know. Listen to this guy's story. You don't got to listen to me. Go listen to this guy's story. This it doesn't mean this is going to happen to you, but other bad things are going to happen. So hopefully this makes you wake up. And if you're already out there doing it, keep doing it. Keep pushing. Keep going. Get yourself set up. Get yourself set up so no matter what happens, you can handle anything. Your family's taken care of. Man, do whatever you got to do. This brought back so many memories listening to this guy's story. Been there, done that. Man, I'm just happy that when I went through it, I was at least set up. I couldn't imagine having nothing and going through that and trying to figure out what the hell am I going to do? Am I going to get stuck in some home somewhere in some dirty ass place with nothing for the next 40 years of my life? Absolutely nuts. So, hey, bad things are going to happen. You got to be able to weather the storm. And if you're not set up for it, you can't. Anyways, if you got an autoimmune story, if you had some other illness you went through, some other terrible stuff that brought you down and you had to get through, drop a comment below. I'm sure everyone would like to hear the story. Till then, I'm going to catch you on the next one.